Hey guys, Ivan here, and in today's video we got a couple of very interesting bodybuilding updates. The first one is from Stephane Matala, who just reached 290 freaking pounds already. Guys, 131 kilos, which is 290 pounds, and that is absolutely insane. What the hell was this guy even doing in Classic? I mean, his body just wanted to grow, and now that he finally took an off season and focused on growing, on doing the open, his body is just responding so well. He's putting on muscle like crazy. What a genetic freak, guys. Can you imagine what this guy is actually gonna look like on stage in the open? I spoke to Patrick Tour, his coach, and he told me that he's expecting Stephane to go down to like 240, 245, and in the Classic he was 219. With his shape, with his muscle bellies. I mean, who does have these sort of muscle bellies? I mean, this reminds me a lot of Kevin Levroni, but since then, I don't remember anybody having this kind of like look to the arms, this wide chest with crazy separation. I mean, everything is really basically perfect. Perfect. I mean, the aesthetics are perfect as well. He would have done so great in Classic physique as well, but if his body is growing so easily, I mean, he should definitely stick with the open, and that's what he's doing exactly, 290 pounds already. Now, the number one reason why I would say he shouldn't stay in Classic physique is not only because his body wants to grow and he's struggling to make the weight every time, that's a huge reason, but the other thing is, even though he's amazing, he looks crazy, he is not quite complete. He is not fully developed yet. One body part is kinda not underdeveloped, but compared to the rest of his body, his back is definitely lagging behind. So that's something he needed to improve, to grow, but he was already struggling so hard to make the weight, so he couldn't really grow any more muscle, really. And when that is the case, when you are already struggling crazy to make the weight, you have to lose some muscle to make the weight for Classic, and you still have a lagging body part, that's kinda a sign that you should move to a heavier category. In his case, of course, bodybuilding open, and that's exactly what he's doing. So it's not that he's only gonna be bigger, but hopefully he's going to be even more complete. Now, the chances of him like blowing out his midsection are slim to none. That's not gonna happen. He's still going to be super aesthetic always. And with his structure, with his proportions, with his muscle bellies, with his genetics, I mean, I can see him already winning a pro show next year at 240 to 45. But imagine what it's gonna be like when he's like another 10 pounds heavier, 20 pounds heavier, maybe even 30 pounds heavier. What would this guy look like at 255, 265, 270? I don't know, man. I mean, you guys know that Chris Bumstead is like, his heaviest weight in the off-season is like 265, I think 268. I don't think he ever reached 270. And his weight in open was like 250. So you might be thinking if Stephane is 290, he's gonna be like 275. No. It's because Chris is never really pushing anything in the off-season. He never really tried to grow. He actually tried to just stay healthy. I don't think he was doing much gear in the off-season. So when he was prepping, that's when he was doing that. And, you know, he would kind of grow into the show, get shredded and get bigger as well at the same time. But Stephane is pushing things for sure. He's definitely trying to put on as much muscle as possible. And he's doing a phenomenal job for sure. And surely he also had to be careful about putting too much muscle on in the off-season because he knew he would just have to struggle that much more to make the weight. And the last time he tried to do that, his body just wouldn't go down. For the Mr. Olympia, he wasn't even able to make the weight. Maybe he was able, but he would have to just, I don't know, do something super crazy, something unhealthy. He wasn't willing to do it, so his body was waiting for him to let it grow, to start eating and not worrying about staying light. And that's why he's putting on this much muscle right now. I mean, he's gonna be like 25 pounds heavier in just 1 year, and that's not something everybody can do. That is doable when your physique has been constricted for so long and your body just wanted to keep growing. So if Chris Bumstead did the same thing, I'm sure he would grow a bunch of muscle as well. For us, normal people, we have to struggle really hard to put on maybe 10 pounds of muscle, but when these guys are struggling to keep their weight down and then they let their body grow, they could put on a ton of muscle so easily. So we can expect Stephane on an open bodybuilding stage next year. Once again, like Patrick Tour said, at like 240, 245, at his height, with his shape, with his muscle bellies, it's gonna look insane. I definitely see this guy winning an open show. Not a large show, not a medium level show. I would say something like a lower level show. But if he does like some, middle level shows, he might be in the top 3. But if he finds a show that is not super competitive, he can win it next year. And in 2 years, I can see him winning bigger shows as well. I think this guy has so much potential. One of the best genetics in the world right now. I am sure about that. That's the way I see it, guys. Tell me what you think down below. Alright, the next news we got is very exciting and promising. Behrouz Tabani signed a contract with Panatta, just like Nick Zilla did the other day. Panatta, once again, is a manufacturer of gym equipment and one of the biggest sponsors of the Mr. Olympia contest. And you guys know that Behrouz has been struggling for years to get a US visa, and now that he has a large sponsor behind him, I'm sure they're gonna pull some strings and invest money, I guess, into like lawyers and stuff, and help this process. I'm sure it's doable. Since they're sponsoring him, of course, they want to see him on the biggest stage in the world. And the thing is, in my opinion, Behrouz Tabani can place really, really high at a Mr. Olympia. I can see him doing really well. Like, if he was at a Mr. Olympia with this shape, let's say, the Dubai Pro where he won, I could see him, in a call-out with guys like Martin Fitzwater, Hunter Labrada, Andrew Jacked. I think he would be battling for that 4th to 6th spot. Because he already beat William Bonac, and William Bonac was 7th. So I think Behrouz would be, worst case scenario, 7th, but he would most likely beat Hunter Labrada. From what I heard, basically, Hunter was amazing at the prejudging, but he faded very, very badly for the finals. And Behrouz is definitely more consistent. Andrew Jack, you guys know, he's amazing, but his conditioning was completely off. And like his development of the hamstrings and the back, maybe not the back, but like the conditioning in the back, it's just not up to par. Martin versus Behrouz, yeah, I think Martin would win in that mashup, but it would be a good battle. So I think Behrouz would fight for that 4th, and he would most likely end up in 5th. So I think Behrouz is a top 5 bodybuilder, top 5 Olympian right now, even though he never really managed to get to the US. But now, after he completed this very, very important collaboration with Panatta, I think the chances of him getting to the Mr. Olympia next year are very, very high. Very, very extremely high. So hopefully he will be on the stage next year, and it's going to be amazing seeing him compared to the very top guys in the world. And also, I definitely noticed a huge progression from Behrouz in the past couple of years. So we can expect something even better, even bigger, even more conditioned from Behrouz next year. Will that new version beat guys like Martin, like Hadi, like Derek? I don't know, but it's going to be amazing to see him up there compared to those guys, finally. And I believe it's going to happen. You guys should believe it as well, but we'll see. Tell me what you think down below. Alright, and the final news I got for you guys is, rather disturbing, I would say. I'm sure all you guys, even though this guy is not exactly known for his competitive career, I'm sure all of you guys are familiar with Chul's son, the most famous Korean bodybuilder. He didn't really make his name by competing, but by, looking really freaky. But even before he got super massive, he was known for his crazy posing routines at the Muscle Mania bodybuilding contests. So I think this is actually a natural division, but I don't know if he is natural, I doubt that. And like his posing routines, his dances that he was doing on that stage became really, really popular. As far as his physique, I mean, it was freaky, especially in the gym for his photo shoots, but like on the stage you would see lacking legs, and also like his obliques were really massive, really big, and it kinda ruined his lines. But that's not the point of this video. The point is, the news is that allegedly he went to prison. So somebody sent me this video from TikTok, and apparently he was sentenced to 9 months in jail for physically assaulting his girlfriend. If you guys want to hear more details, exactly what he did, you should go and watch this video on TikTok. I'll leave the link down below in the description of this video, but it's pretty disturbing. So he's gonna go to prison for 9 months, and apparently, based on what this guy says, this is not the first time that he went to prison. He actually went before for like 6 months, I think. I don't know how many of you guys were actually interested in hearing about this, because again, he is not exactly a professional bodybuilder, but still, I mean, he is a part of the fitness industry. You can see him doing collabs with a lot of popular fitness influencers, bodybuilders. He had some pretty good showings actually at certain bodybuilding shows, but yeah, that's the news. He went to prison. Anyways guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more bodybuilding videos, bodybuilding news like this one. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you soon guys, all the best, and bye bye.